Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Black Friday episode of Nadex Morning Analysis. My name is Todd Rich. I am with Nadex. I've got with me Brian Caprice from Keep Trading Simple. And before we jump into what we'd like to cover today, I do have to mention that trading does indeed involve risk, and that any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk, and that this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a buy or sell recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes. As I mentioned, it is the Black Friday session. We do have an abbreviated equity market open today. Black Friday. The U.S. hasn't exported our Thanksgiving holiday yet, but we have exported the sale afterwards. Black Friday is indeed a thing around the world, so that's our contribution to world culture. Next up will be, apparently there's Green Wednesday, which I just learned about by reading in the newspaper here in Illinois. In the dispensaries, marijuana is legal in Illinois, and apparently I guess they have Green Wednesday the day before Thanksgiving, where the dispensaries.
Like we need any help eating more, right?
I guess there's a thought process to it.
Right.
So Thanksgiving is bookended by Green Wednesday in front and Black Friday on the back. I know it was kind of quiet in the equities market so far overnight. Brian, you want to just kind of give us a quick little rundown of just maybe what's going on in the equities markets before we jump into one or two specific markets and kind of identify what might be going on?
So, obviously being closed yesterday, everybody's trying to get their trades in this morning early. We've seen a little bit of movement. Overall, again, I use typically currency as a gauge of what's moving in the overnight. And looking at it right now, there's really nothing. There's, things are, retracing, kind of going back to levels, kind of sucking back in, getting ready for the weekend. The most volatile of all currency pairs right now is the euro dollar at 40 pips in 24 hours, which is less than half of its APR. So even the pound yen, 7 pips in 24 hours. So there's just not a whole lot of movement. There hasn't been a lot of overseas news or kind of driving factors out there. And again, this could be a lot, obviously, due to COVID. There is one small thing that I'm looking at right now over in the Dow. This is a level that, again, had pretty clean. You can see right here, the 29,986. The birds like this one, I guess. They're
Clearly.
Today. They haven't made any noise yet this morning, and I put the Dow up, and they're all over it. But 29,960 or 986. Again, my numbers may be slightly off, viewers, based off the data that I'm pulling from. But you can see that we had a level of basing here and then a very strong push down now. We've made a few attempts up, haven't been able to hit it. It could be something small for this morning. Like I said, I don't think that this is going to be a full-time runner today, but watching the other indices, you're kind of seeing these things, both the S&P, the NQ, as well as the Dow all kind of popping. The Dow is kind of the weakest over here. And I think I've already seen a few headlines about it, about the number of people that did travel for the holiday. I feel like if we see any type of spikes or any type of negative news, I think there'll be a snowball effect on that one, just as far as the indices go. Obviously, Black Friday is a big thing. We have Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So, again, that's more of a retail sales story for next week than it is today. But the Dow, I would say that, there may be a potential kind of rollover point just above where we are right now.
One thing to look at. What else do we want to talk about? You want to talk about what's going on in oil briefly?
I can do oil real quick. Let me drag this in. Actually, for those of you that don't know, OPEC is called let me pull this in. OPEC is called a last-minute meeting to prepare for whether cuts or, I guess, a resumption of production. Obviously, oil is a very demand-driven commodity, and you can see here that right now, Saudi Arabia and Russia have agreed. Again, the agreement's already in that they have lowered levels of production to kind of, again, stabilize price. Well, many people think that they are going to continue that further, although you're starting to see kind of the foundation crumble a little bit. You see that Iraq is very upset about this. Nigeria is also upset, and then there's also discord with the United Arab Emirates. Why this is important, and again, when they originally came out with this production cut, it's great, but OPEC does not have the power that it used to have. Whatever OPEC used to say used to go. It's not like that anymore. The United States is actually the number one exporter. So OPEC doesn't have as much control. And again, Russia's saying, hey, we will lower our actual production rates to stabilize price. But not every country is sitting on a big, fat wad of cash. They can say, we're just gonna take less money in every month, and we're just gonna, produce less oil. Yeah, that sounds great, to stabilize price. But again, supply and demand. If you don't produce it, somebody else is. Again, it's a greed-driven market. And if you look across, let me actually drag this chart in. You can see that oil is still kind of maintaining those highs that we mentioned before. We had a level over here that we said, hey, listen, we'll probably have some bounces off this level. We've seen it very strong before, and it did. We had one, we had this 2 touch, we had 3 touches, and then magically number 4 is the one that broke through. So we're back up into that area before where we had a lot of basing, and that area, which was the high, became the low over here, stabilized it. It drove through, and then it came back up, and again, touch, touch, touch. If this one does this failure to go higher pattern, and this is what a failure to go higher pattern looks like, is something along these lines right here, where you have a push up, a wick on the top, and then again, we have a stabilization below and is unable to get higher. If price drops below 45.23, we could be looking at price dropping down into the 43.60ish range. Again, we're not talking about a $5 move today or anything like that. No. It's a pretty decent kind of push to the downside. And again, the actual OPEC meeting is tomorrow on Saturday, but people are going to be preparing for it today in the market. So again, maybe today could be a Sunday night in reaction to this, again, the OPEC meeting tomorrow.
Perfect. So that's actually something for everyone to just keep your eye on. Again, maybe not for today, but watching it, it's nice because we are on a Friday, and when the markets do open Sunday evening, you might want to take a peek over at oil on Nadex.
Yeah, it could definitely be a fast and furious Monday for oil.
Yeah. So, and then you've got your knockouts or call spreads or even binary options around there that you might want to take a peek at. All right, let's just do one more. And
sure.
Because there's one market that is just got us perplexed. And I know people will be talking about this one today.
Yeah. So gold magically this morning. And again, I've been searching for news and I haven't been able to find anything in here that is, Manchester United is being held ransom for millions by cyber hackers. The EU wants to do some fishing in UK waters. Nothing in here is telling me that gold should be dropping this much, this fast.
Wait,
so huge motion move to the downside.
So the hackers aren't asking for gold; they're probably asking for cryptocurrencies.
They're asking for fishermen or pounds. Yeah,
they're not fishing for gold. So I don't think either one of those things have anything to do with gold.
No, it's so the European soccer is or European football is having some issues. But that shouldn't move gold the way that it is. Gold this morning, really, for the last hour. Again, we just started this new candle, but really since 8:00 a.m. this morning Eastern time, somebody's been fat finger in the sell button on gold because this dropped from approximately 1805 and now we're down into the 1775. So we're talking about a $30 move in an hour with, again, a U.S. market that's not crippled but barely functioning today. It's kind of at a skeleton crew level. And again, low volume, you can move price, but this is a lot of movement very, very fast. You can see we're actually going through an hourly level right now. And again, it looks like it paused there. It gave a little bit of retracement. Some buyers stepped into it, but there may not be enough buyers being that it, is the Friday after Thanksgiving, unfortunately.
Right.
And again, sitting in that same level, it is also a 4-hour zone. So it'll be interesting if we can break below this level and drop just another like $5-6. There's not a lot holding us back into the 1720 level. So it's an interesting level. And again, this is the Friday after kind of madness that, can happen inside of the market. So again, most of the times when we see an emotional move like this, there is a catalyst. Those are great opportunities to play reversals. Unfortunately, today, I haven't been able to find any type of reversal path or, any type of catalyst news out there. And I've been looking.
Let's just jump over. I'm going to bring up the Nadex platform real quickly because it is a little perplexing. Here we are.
Oil's about the only thing. Oil's about the only thing that I could see causing any type of reaction.
Maybe. Here we are on the knockouts, and again, we had that roughly 1800 level where it was finding its support. And an emotional level, it definitely had its support, and then it just went straight through it recently. Now, you were mentioning if it gets through the 1780 level, we might even see it go, down here in the 1725-ish range. Yeah. So, if someone wanted, if you thought that this was going to continue through the day for some reason, there are some knockouts. I mean, this is the lowest knockout that we've got. Again, it's a defined risk, defined reward. Let me bring that back up. Boom. Sorry. All right. Well, I don't know. That's what's going on with my internet connection at the moment. Wonderful. But who knows where this goes lower? What else could we possibly be looking at outside of the knockouts? We could take a look at the call spreads. We got some daily call spreads here in gold. Let's just take a quick little peek at what some of these levels. I mean, it's just blowing through them.
Yeah.
This bottom one could be. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it's just moving, and for those of you that don't know, that have not watched some of the other broadcasts that we've done, gold is directly affected by oil. Low oil prices definitely affect gold. There's a kind of synergistic effect between the two. Seeing this in the gold market, that would almost kind of go back to the oil story, saying, hey, listen, if the gold traders are already believing that oil prices and fuel prices are going to remain low, that's not necessarily a good thing for oil or for the gold market as well. So they may be foreshadowing what we're going to see early next week. But right now, I would just, urge caution for anybody out there looking to trade this morning. Again, a lot of movement, very, very emotional. Again, continuing to go down, and they always warn people to try to be very cautious about catching a falling knife. And we really don't have any great areas of sellers below this. And again, the one thing that we do have to worry, it is Friday. We do only have about 3.5 hours. This one actually has 3 hours and 17 minutes left on it. So just remember that one of the things about, options in general is you need to worry about expirations. So that's definitely something you need to keep in mind for today.
Yeah, after looking at the call spreads and knockouts, this is one of those ones where our small $100 binary options might make a little sense if you want to play it.
The way to go.
Right. I mean, if you thought this was going to keep going lower, I mean, we're right here at this 1780 strike. If you think it was going to bounce, I mean, you know what you're getting into, whether you bought it or whether you sold it. I mean, your maximum profit and loss are always calculated. So things that people could look at if you thought it was going lower, you could try to potentially consider selling one of the higher probability ones. Again, but it's all defined risk, defined reward, and it might be an easier way to consider playing gold when it's moving like this, and we're really not quite certain.
And again, if you want to get something in, it may even be better to go over into the shorter duration binaries because the strike differential is going to be much closer together. Something like one of the 2 hours if we can get a push lower.
Yeah. So definitely something to be considering, something to look at. Let's I'm going to ask, is there anything else that people might want to consider over the weekend? Is there anything else that you could think of other than?
Yeah, I would say that, if I know we mention it all the time, Brexit. Obviously, keep your ears down. They're proposing, again, it's considered high news if they're doing these final preparations with Brexit. Again, it could be a fast and furious Sunday night, Monday with the pound if there is some type of agreement on that one.
All right. Well, so everyone can take a look at that Sunday evening. If you'd like to reach out to Nadex, please, you can find us at customerservice@nadex.com. You can follow us on social media. You have any questions for Brian? support@keeptradingsimple.com. With that, we want to thank everyone for joining us. Want to wish everyone a very happy holiday. Hopefully everyone had a nice, safe Thanksgiving. And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the shortened day today. Hopefully get some chance to spend some time with your families and enjoy. And Brian and I will catch you again on Monday morning. Good luck in the markets, everyone.
Yep, take care, guys.